What's up YouTube, Dayham's of Wargames. And as I was saying in the BANLIST video, I was planning to bring you a Pendulum deck and the BANLIST hit, so I had to make a couple of changes of it, and I've still tried to keep it budget. The most expensive card in a deck is probably this guy right here, and this is the brand new, or the return of Exton Knight. You don't have to play this, you can play something like Gaga Cowboy, because that could win you a game, or you could play any kind of other rank 4 or another Link monster, and I'll explain so as we go through it. Try to keep this deck as budget as I can for you guys. Like I said, you take out the Exton Knight, you got even more budget. This deck, in my opinion, you could probably pick it all up for no more than 50 quid, I reckon. I'll explain the prices as we go through. So start off with the main deck. You got triple Mythical Beast Cerberus, got reprinted in Megatins for only a couple of quid each there. Double Jackal, again, relatively quite cheap. Double Gate Zero, double Oath Dragon, going off at an angle here. Triple Wisdom Eye. There we go, let's do it that way. Triple Wisdom Eye. Triple Harmonizing. It's all very, very staple on the monster lineup. Triple Chronograph. Triple Abyss Act Curtain Raiser. Now this one I'm not 100% set on because it is only once per duel, but because it is a dark, it does contribute to other stuff in our extra deck, which I'll explain so when we get there. Triple Dragon Darkworm. Double Black Fang. Double Poison Magician, and single Time Gazer. So obviously the whole idea of this deck is to keep your Pendulum summon and your normal summon as much as you can to use and abuse that one Electromite that you do have. Now obviously the issue is, once that Electromite gets hit, you are in a bit of a sticky situation, because in the past you could go to 2 and kind of move your plays further forward. In this one, you're in a bit more of a sticky situation, so you can't use and abuse it as much. You have to be a lot careful. But regardless, it's still very, very useful to use. The other downside as well is we did get Called by the Grave hit to 2, which is a little bit bemusing to everyone else, but maybe because it wasn't once per turn. This was kind of this fail-safe that Pendulums had, that if they were, even more so now with Electromite 1, if the Electromite was going to get hit, they could go Called by the Grave, or they would have some form of stopping. But still play it 2 is very, very important in the deck in my opinion. 2 Dragon Shrine. 2 Pot of Desires, 1 Star Pendulum Graph. Don't have to play this, I just think it's more important now than ever because of the Electromite hit. The 1 Foolish Burial, and the 1 Pendulum Call. So I've put Pendulum Call back in there because it can win you games. Yes, it's a bit more of a gamble now that Called by the Grave is at less, but I still think that Pendulum Call, if you either bait out your opponent's hand traps, or you have the ability to, you know you're going to be able to resolve Pendulum Call, it's going to cause your opponent a hell of a lot of issues. To get back those 2 scales, keep them protected for the turn, it then combos off nicely with Time Pendulum Graph, which I still think is an incredibly powerful trap card. And in a budget version of this deck, there's no reason not to play it. It's only a couple of quid, and I think it's incredibly powerful and can really, really, even more so now that less people are playing it, catch your opponent off guard. They'll be like, what are they setting? They're just setting a bluff. And then you go and whack the trap out, have protection with your trap, clear 2 cards on your opponent's board, and you're causing them so many more issues. Now onto the extra deck. We're going to blitz through the synchros because we've only got 2 synchros in there, and that is Supreme King Dragon Clearing. This is your Regeki on board, and your Ignista Prominence. Probably the most powerful synchro monster in relation to a Pendulum deck, in my opinion. Now obviously you can play Omega if you wish, but Omega's price will start to slightly climb because it has now been hit to 1. If you don't want to put Omega in there, by all means do so. For the XYZs, you got the 1 Trapeze Magician. Tricksters didn't get hit, so Trapeze Magician can actually be a very, very good win state for you because they can't get over a 2500 beta. Plus, on top of that, you're not taking any burn damage unless it's more than 2500. So you've got not a lot to worry about with that. Tornado Dragon to deal with back row. Abyss Dweller to deal with those Gokis because they didn't get hit as much as we thought they would, so they're still going to be around. Time Star Magician, I still think it's incredibly powerful, and getting that additional search can be quite useful, as well as protecting your Magician cards. Naruto being able to negate is always going to be powerful in this deck. You can still do it. I have chosen not to use the Vortex engine because it was so specific. There's only 2 level 7s in the deck, so in this version, to be able to make the Vortex and all of that, you have to go through a lot of consistent plays, and it's just got made harder without Astrograph, and even more so now without Electromite being at 2, because you're playing the risk of running it at 1, so you kind of need to focus on whether you want to go for a Naruto or you want to go for a Vortex. It's really up to you. And then of course we've got the brand new, or the return of the Exton Knight. This is just here because being able to reset the board state, I mean, it's not ideal because you do have to nuke. So basically, for those of you who don't know, because it has been a while, if your opponent, once per chain during the main phase or your opponent's battle phase, if your opponent has more total cards in their hand and their side of the field than you do, detach one material from this card, destroy all other cards on the field. Also, your opponent takes no further damage this turn. This is a quick effect. So it does reset the board state. Now, obviously, if you're clever in the sense that you hold on to a Pendulum Call and a card to discard, you're only leaving yourself with an Exton Knight maybe on board and 2 cards in hand. So you go Exton, nuke the board, reset the board state, play the Pendulum Call, get your scales out, bring your board back out as best as you possibly can. Even if you have to use your normal summon, use Exciton and link off, then reset the board state, and you get to play off. So no matter what your opponent has, Exciton can still reset the board state for you. Like I said, you don't have to play this. You can take this out for another card if you want. Like a Pagusu can really help, because on top of that, you want to be going back to the old school OTK with this deck, and that consisted of course, your Trapeze Magician and your Decode Talker, which is why I played Decode Talker. We've then got the one Borrowed, incredibly powerful, maybe starting to come down in price a little bit from the tin reprints because they're a lot easier to get a hold of, so definitely keep an eye out on them. The one Zephyr Metatron, the one Nightmare Phoenix, again another way of outing that anti-spell. You want main deck outs to it because stuff like Toads, Altergeist that still didn't get touched either, will be playing anti-spell Fragrance, so you want to be able to out that during your main deck rather than having to rely on your side deck. Next up, we've got the one Triple Burst Dragon. Now, some people overlook this, but this card's actually really good. So, once per turn during a damage step, when a spell or trap or monster effect is activated, quick effect, negate the activation. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. During your main phase, except the turn this was special summoned, tribute this card, then target one link 2 or lower monster in your graveyard, Electromite. Special summon it, then you can special summon one level 4 or lower dragon monster. So if you hard draw into the Dark Worm, you can actually use Triple Burst, negate something during your opponent's turn, tribute this off, bring back your one Electromite. Electromite is then live. You then get to special summon out Dark Worm from your deck, from your hand, bring that out on board. Use Electromite's effect to fill up the extra deck and draw the card. Then get rid of the Electromite with the Dark Worm, go into a link free. So you can go with your Decode Talker on that one. You could climb up into Borrowed Dragon should you wish. And then push further forward on that sense. We do have, of course, the one Electromite. And to cover up the Electromite, because of the 2 zones pointing downwards, we have gone with a Wee Witch Apprentice. Now, the reason I've gone with Wee Witch Apprentice is, yes, you do have a nice range of attributes. However, the majority of the deck is dark. You've got your Curtain Raiser, you've got your Chronograph, you've got your Time Gazer, you've got your Purple, your Black Fang, your Harmonizing, your Gate Zero and your Jackal. So you do have a lot of cards that can get into Wee Witch. And just to kind of replace the 2 zones pointing downwards, of course you can play Lamphalinkus, I believe, the one that came out in the structure deck. But Wee Witch does give you that boost should you want to go in a different angle. And of course it is a link too that can be brought back off of Triple Burst as well. Ideally you want to be looping your Metaphors, so that is the one thing you do want to focus on when you're playing the Triple Burst play. And like I said, this is all budget. I believe the Borrowed has started to come down in price. Exton is on the up because it's just come off the ban list. It's sitting at about 15 quid, but you can get an Ultra for like 3 quid from Battles of Legend 1. So, you know, even then it's not that expensive. So Borrowed is probably your most expensive thing. I'd say you can easily build this deck for less than 50 quid. Electromite might go up, but the quantity of Electromites will go up as well because there'll be more people getting rid of them because of the ban list. So yeah, don't worry too much about that. I think this should be a very easy deck to pick up. Cheap, cheerful and powerful. That's what you got to remember, is it is still very powerful. It didn't get hit massively off the ban list. It did just lose its main link monster. But that in turn turns it more budget for you guys out there. And it still retains its power plays as well. So for now, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Check out our 2 giveaways going on. We've got one for a Forest playmat and one for a binder and a special edition of Cybernetic Horizon. All both thanks to our very good friends, get my words right, very good friends at Blackfire. So check them out in the link in the description below. But for now, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time guys, as always, happy dueling. Also YouTube, thanks for watching that video. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like button. And of course, don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button in the bottom left hand corner and the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. We've got more deck profiles, duels, pack openings and many more Yu-Gi-Oh videos coming up for you all year round. So don't forget to stay tuned for all of that. Thanks, and as always guys, happy dueling.